All right, it's another gym day, so it might be busy. I don't know if I'll be able to get anything again as far as working out goes. So lately, because of all the humidity, everybody's been coming to the gym. So I don't blame them, because that's why I'm here too. Well, I also like to use the equipment, so that's another reason. But yeah, let's go. In the gym, I've been there for a few hours. It's 5:24, almost 5:25. This one was a hard one. I really pushed myself. I really did a lot of weight overload, or whatever you call it. Yeah, I've got a headache starting. I'm pretty sure it's because I need food in my system. I did have like a store-bought sub before I left. It was just like a little, maybe 4 or 5 inch. And then I've been drinking water. I'm beat. I'm at 1603, so 1,603 calories burned, 171 minutes of exercise, and 9 standing hours or whatever. So, yeah. And I'm close to the 10,000 steps. I was like at 9,000 something. I think it was like 9,400. So I'm gonna head home. I'm just tired. A lot of people in the gym coming. But yeah, I'm headed out now. Good morning, everybody. Today is the 18th of July. I'm missing a few days in these vlogs, but that's okay. And I promise you, the shirt just got washed. I know I'm in it all the time for my vlogs. It's clean. It's one of my favorite pajama shirts, but I also wore it to the gym recently, and I had the sleeves tucked up with a twist tie, so that was really nice. So yeah, anyway, this is healing fairly nicely. The bruise I had is almost gone. So yeah, I think it's looking great. So anyway, I'm boiling some chicken on the stove right now so that I can make some protein pizza. We finally went to the store and got more ingredients so I can make more of that. I have also started drinking coffee again a little bit more. And one of the bad things with that I went through is like binge drinking coffee, like the whole pot. And so what I'm starting to do is, you know, creamer and sugar is what I add to my coffee. But I started doing my protein powder with cold coffee, because warm coffee, the protein powder will clump up and it won't break up. So I used this flavor protein in my coffee this morning and 2 mornings ago. In case anybody wants to know what the breakdown is for 1st Phorm. And of course, every flavor is going to be different. But literally, if you look at this, in my coffee this morning, I just literally have black coffee filled up how high, as far as I wanted it to go. I'm getting 25 grams of protein right now drinking in my coffee. So switching out some bad habits with some better, healthier habits as my chicken overflows over here now. Don't you hate it when it bubbles up? Just got some relaxing thunderstorm music going on the TV. Even though you can't hear it, I do have it turned down. And then you can also hear the fan on the stove in the background because my chicken was boiling over. Somebody needs a haircut again. I'm gonna be making protein pizza for lunch. It's 11:08 a.m. Like I said, it'll probably be brunch because of all the preparation. The recipe I showed you how to make it, use canned chicken. Well, I decided one day to make it with chicken breasts that I boil and then I shred myself. And I felt like that held together a lot better. Yes, you did kind of get a little bit more stringy pieces in the chicken that get stuck in your teeth, but it just tasted heartier, and I was a big fan of it. And along with that, I added a little bit more seasonings to the chicken mixture. So when I shredded it, I added some garlic powder, some onion powder, pepper, and then the Italian seasoning. Italian seasoning. We'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, I added that to it, and I don't know, it gave it a little bit better flavor profile, maybe. I'm pretty sure I have some pizza sauce left, because I'm like, what else would I put on there? I mean, I have Alfredo sauce, but I don't know if I want to try that. I would do like a chicken bacon ranch type of homemade protein pizza. Yes, that is something I would try. Could you imagine? Could you imagine making a protein pizza where the crust is made out of chicken and then you do like your ranch sauce on top, not pizza sauce, but ranch. Then you do your cheese and then you top it with more chicken and like bacon bits. I'm definitely the person who would do that. Can I have some chicken on top of my chicken, please? Okay. I crack myself up. It's just something I do. But, yeah, I'm going to do that. And, hopefully you guys have enjoyed my vlogs. I've been trying to get them out there. Yeah. I finally have some workout footage that's in here. So I hope you enjoy that. I can only pick up the phone so much because there are people around and I'm just not comfortable with setting my phone somewhere and being so far away to show myself, unless there's like nobody around, then I'll do it, which you've seen. But other than that, it's difficult for me. So yeah. Okay, real talk. I've had to convince myself to stay off the scale because I feel like I'm like, that scale just lies to you. It does. And it might not even be lying to you because if your weight isn't changing, but you can see the difference in your body and like taking before and after pictures, which I do all the time, so that I can compare how I looked from this month to the next. Yeah, sometimes I got on the scale in June, okay? I was weighing at 296.6 pounds, I want to say, okay? I got on the scale today just to say, what the hell, you know? Just to see if there was a change because I've seen a drastic change in my stomach and my fupa and everything. And it's telling me I'm down to 295 point whatever. And I'm just like, I've lost a lot of, I'm like, I know. The thing is, I've lost inches. I've lost a lot of inches and probably water weight and all that off my body, which is awesome. And I have been pushing myself in the gym with weights more than I did last year. And I'm not so focused on cardio. Cardio I do at the end of my workout. But, well, technically I'll do it sometimes in the beginning to do like a 10-minute warm up on a walk, you know, and then start, pretty much 45 to an hour of weights, weightlifting, anything to do with weights. I'm doing for a good 45 to an hour of just weights on whatever body part I'm working. Sometimes I do all around, like a whole body workout. Okay. Now, so saying that, I am putting on muscle mass. And so if you're getting on the scale and you're not seeing a change, well, I'm replacing my fat with muscle. So there's not gonna be much of a change. So I'm gonna insert a picture on here that I took of myself from April to July. And you could see, I'm like, and I was told, and the scale told me I only lost 1 pound. So just, I'm like, you can see for yourself, the scale is not the #1 thing that you want to pay attention to, because 9 times out of 10 for me, getting on the scale and it not telling me what I want to see has hindered my progress, because it hits you mentally somehow. Like, I've been doing all these things and why aren't I seeing progress? But I am seeing progress. It's in the before and after pictures. People hate to take before and after pictures of themselves, but that is where it's at. That is where you're going to see the most progress, is if you get pictures of yourself. From, like, let's say you're starting today. You decided, I'm going to get onto this journey. I'm going to start my weight loss. I'm going to do everything I can to get into the body I've always wanted. Take pictures. Side, back, front. Do it. I even take arm pictures to see if I can see any progress in my arm flab, you know, just to give me a visual if that's changing or not. So take the pictures. No matter how much you hate how you look in that moment or how disgusted you might feel with yourself, take the pictures. Take the videos. I have videos on my YouTube here of when I was cleaning my horse stall, and I can see how big I used to be when I had my horse at the stable, my horse Spirit. Before I sold him, I was making stall cleaning videos. And you could see just how big I used to be. So, you know, that's progress. Yes, I hit a plateau, and then my seasonal happened. My mental health just took a dive. I became stagnant. I wasn't burning 1,500 calories a day. I wasn't doing what I had set out to do for the last 6 to 8 months of all the hard work I put into myself. And I beat myself up now so much of, I shouldn't have let that happen. I should have kept going. I should have pushed through the mental barriers. But at that time, I shut down. And when I shut down, I don't want to deal or hear or I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to see anybody. I barely want to socialize. I don't want to talk. I just become very introverted. And that is one of my struggles. And that is something I have to face coming up at the end of this year. And like I said, I'm like, that was my last tattoo appointment. Now I need to save some money for a walking pad because I need something here so that I'm not sitting on my butt and I'm actually keeping myself accountable if I know that I'm not going to be able to drive to the gym. Half hour away. You know, I'm not going to drive to the gym in a blizzard. Luckily last year we didn't have that. We didn't really have bad winter weather last year, mainly like all winter. and I still struggled to get myself up and to drive to the gym and keep myself a priority. I need to keep myself a priority. I need to stop giving in to food temptations that are around me and stick to what needs to go into my body. I'm somebody who also enjoys reading. Not to give away my dark secrets, I would be part of the book talk community. I do like my spicy romance books, mainly in the werewolf genre. Jessica Hall is now one of my #1 favorite authors that I read. And she wrote Fated to the Alpha series, which I love. And because I've been a person who loves reading that genre, it's something that sparked an interest in me. I think the reason it started is because of Twilight with Jacob Black and everything, like how they did that. I was like, yes, this is something I can get down with, because everybody's like, oh, I don't read. I don't like reading. I'm not, you like reading. You like reading. You just haven't found your genre right now. You haven't found the thing that sparks your interest. So with that being said, I'm actually writing my own book. I'm creating my own fiction, fantasy, romance. Yeah, a little bit of smut, all of it. So I've been working on that. So far, I've written, and I have to, I'm like revising it a little bit because I noticed like my chapter 1 was a bit short. So I'm like, I combined 1 and 2 together. So that drops me down to probably like 16 chapters that I've written so far. And I'm having a good time with it because, let me tell you, when I read somebody else's work, you know, the anticipation or the buildup of those hooks that get you, that keep you reading until like 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah. When you're writing your own book and you're literally just playing the story out in your own head and you have to get that down and you're just like, for yourself, you're like, oh, what am I going to do next? Like, yeah, I get excited about that stuff because I'm just like, I'm keeping myself interested in my own story. I have read out loud some of my chapters to one of my cousins, and she also likes to read. So I was reading like I think I read like the first 5 chapters of my book to her, and I had her hooked. I had her laughing, and I'm just like, you know what? I can't wait to get this book finished and continue to write. I would love to be an author of the fiction, fantasy, werewolf romance books. I would love to do that because it's something that I really love and enjoy myself. So just a little tidbit about me and things that I like. So what are some of the things you guys like, you know? What are some of your hobbies? Because it's sometimes fun. I mean, as you guys seen on my channel, enjoy basketball for a physical activity. I'm trying to get back to the gym rat I was a year ago. And I enjoy animals, dogs. One of the things I have not shared yet on my YouTube is that I have crested geckos. I have quite a few of them, and I'm actually hatching eggs out, incubating eggs. That kind of, I want to say it just kind of escalated a little bit when I was going through my seasonal, I guess you could say in your manic state. I ended up just like, I was researching crested geckos. Now, a little backstory is that I've always wanted to get a ball python. And, you know, their requirements are a little bit more than what crested geckos are. Sorry, I'm like cutting up my chicken for my protein pizza here. But yeah, they require a lot more. The rodents, everything. Crested geckos, very easy. Yeah, I'm like powdered diet, insects if you can get them. It's very hard for me to get like really nice insects from our pet store because Usually a lot of them are dead half the time in the containers. So I'm like, you're not going to buy a container of dead dubia roaches to feed your animals because they're not going to eat them. And that's a waste of money. So there is somebody who's fairly local to me who breeds their own dubia roaches and resells them. They're currently low on their stock, so I'm waiting until they have some available for me to get some. But other than that, I get the Pangea reptile diet, complete reptile diet. Usually the one that I use the most is the fig and insect, because that seems to be the one that all of them will eat and not have like many complaints about. But yeah, I've been debating whether to show that on my YouTube channel because, you know, I have your basic setup. I don't have like your habitats and everything. I use like a lot of breeders have, and I don't know if I want to call myself a breeder. I would call myself a hobbyist at this point because I don't have a big collection. I'm not trying to have a big collection of them. But, you know, I could get to a point where I have enough babies that are hatched to bring to maybe a reptile show or expo to sell. Because my females do lay 2 eggs at a time. And from what I've read, they can lay two eggs every month for like 8 months or something. So it could be like 16 babies at the end of it. All depending on if they're fertile, if the eggs hatch out, yada, yada, yada. I currently have, it should be three females that are laying fertile eggs for me. And the thing with me is this, I stumbled upon all of this because I got my very first crested gecko from Petco, my local pet store. And she was sold to me as a male, was not a male. I figured that out after like not even the first week. I was just like, there's no cresticles here. This is a girl. So, you know, with all the research I did, I'm like, okay, they need a humid hide, all of that to help with shedding, yada, yada, yada. Okay. 3 weeks into owning this gecko, she gives me eggs. And I'm like, you're definitely a girl because I have eggs now. And from there, I used my phone flashlight and I candled the eggs. And there's a little red Cheerio in there. Okay. Petco doesn't know what they're doing as far as housing the reptiles because crested geckos are not supposed to be together. I mean, yes, you can cohabitate. You can cohab females to one male. But you're not supposed to have males together with a whole bunch of other geckos. And they literally have a whole bunch of different sized geckos, the little babies, very small babies, to bigger adults, all together in the same space. And I'm just like these people don't give a fuck. That's what it is that they don't give a fuck. And now I'm not going to be a person that goes, oh, I rescued this from the pet store. No, I bought it. I'm not that person that's going to be like, I rescued it from the store. I'm like, no, I know that they're going to replace it like that. This was my first gecko, and fucking love her, Lorana. I named her Lorcan. It was Lorcan because it was supposed to be a boy. And when I figured out it was a girl, I was like, okay, now we need to rename you. And I'm like, what's close to Lorcan? I'm like, Lorana. Let's just go with Lorana. So that's my very first gecko's name. She's not bred top notch. She does not have a very great crest. She is a flame Dalmatian. And I don't think she has really any other characteristics besides being a flame Dalmatian. So it's just a flame with Dal spots. And from there, I had gone on Morph Market, if anybody knows what that is. It's where a lot of people go to get the reptiles, I'm pretty sure. And I found 2 different breeders. one, you know, if you got more, you got a discount for buying more. So I kind of went that route. And I fell in love with like the lavender color. The Harlequin, I have a female that is a white wall extreme Harlequin. Yeah, she's fucking beautiful. Her name is Spice. She gives me, I think this is the reason why she was for sale though, because she gave me very not so great calcified eggs. They are fertile. However, I have to up her calcium intake. So yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, Lorana gave me 2 eggs, February 18th, okay? This is how long I've had them. I just haven't mentioned them on my videos. February 18th, I got my first pair of eggs from her, okay? Now, I thought with the research I did, that you're supposed to keep the eggs at a, you know, 70 to like 75 was okay. Talking to another breeder I had met at an expo, at a reptile expo, she's like, that's way too hot. You're incubating them too hot. They're going to be small and they're going to hatch out too quickly. I'm like, okay. So I had to find a place where in our house is like 69 to 70 degrees. So I put them there. But before I found out that information, what happened is that my very first 2 eggs hatched out. April 30th, so they were laid on February 18th. The first one was hatched April 30th, and the second one hatched May 1st, okay? So that came in at 72 and 73 days incubation. And the breeder was like, that's too early. You know, you need to fix that. I'm like, okay. Found a place, of course, like I just said, between 69 and 70 degrees in our house where I have my eggs. And I just hatched out her second pair. Which I'm like, I would have to look at when she laid them. She laid them probably, I think the second pair was like 47 days later, I think, from her first pair. So March something, I want to say. And those just hatched out at 92 and 93 days incubation. However, I didn't really see a difference in their size and their weights. Yes, they were slightly heavier, from my first ones being 1.5 grams. And then the next set being I think it was 1.7 and 1.6 grams. So I'm like, that's really not that much of a difference. And they looked fairly the same size as the firstborns. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, Lorana, technically being bred by a Petco male that she was in with, that's why she has fertile eggs, is because she was in with 3 different males. So I'm like, God knows who bred her, unless all of 3 did. Who knows? She's a smaller female. She's not going to be your big, chunky, really nice breeder bred gecko. She was probably, she was mass produced by the company that ships geckos to Petco, okay? So I think she's naturally going to be a smaller female and not get a nice, decent size, okay? So, I'm like, it's only natural, I think, that her babies are going to come out this small because she's a small female. And the males were not that much bigger than her either. So that's my theory on it. I have my next egg is due any day at this point because today is day 80. And they can incubate between 80 to 120 days. So, like I said, I'm thinking that I'll have like maybe 90-day, hopefully hatched eggs because, and there's my oven preheating and I'm not even ready for it. I think around 90 days is when they'll typically be hatching out on me because of the temperature difference. And these eggs are a lot bigger than Laurana's, so it could be a bigger baby. But I'm very excited. I have one egg that's due to hatch. She only laid one egg her first clutch, which is my girl Saffron. She is a yellow pinstripe crested gecko, and I bred her to my Super Dalmatian, Luca. And so I'm really hoping for that light color yellow base that she has with his big ink blot spots. Because I love the Super Dalmatians, but I also love the yellows. So if you guys want me to talk more about my crested geckos and stuff, let me know. And my family kind of jokes around like, oh, you went from Dalmatian dogs to Dalmatian geckos. And I'm like, yeah, they're a lot easier. They're definitely a lot easier than the canine versions. So, yeah, let me know what you think about that. And this is my one incubator box I have. Those were the ones that recently hatched out. This one is due next. And then after that one would be Laurana's third clutch that's due. And those are already plumping up, which is great. Now, Spice's eggs are the ones that, if you could tell, like look how nice and leathery white these are. These are Spice's eggs. They are very, let me back it up. They are very calcified. They're not really nice. She just had this pair. They were discoloring. They were having a lot of moisture. So I went and I got like baby powder to coat them on. Something that had like talc in it to help them not to mold or anything. And there are embryos in these. They are fertile. So I'm trying to save them. But you can tell they are discolored a bit. But yes, I'm very excited to see this baby. And well, all these babies here. Because that is my yellow pinstripe bred to my Super Dalmatian. I'm excited for all those eggs to hatch.